Hello, hello, hello. All right, good evening, good day, good people. Hopefully, everyone's doing marvelous. Mm, Drink your water. Okay. This is your friendly reminder to drink your water. Hi, guys. It's Tay, Coach Tay, your friendly neighborhood bedroom candy consultant. And I'm before you today, this lovely day of service. Um, just to talk about a little bit of more, just difference between sex and intimacy. We are diving into this series, and I just want to start by saying thank you for joining me, first of all. Second of all, I'm going to just introduce myself since some of you may be new here. So welcome. First of all, my name is LaShante, affectionately known as Tay in the bedroom candy community, and I'm based out of the DMV area, that is DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I am a health and wellness coach, and I'm very passionate about helping other people. Bedroom Candy is a Black female owned and run luxury lifestyle brand. And through Bedroom Candy, I'm able to educate people on ways to prioritize their sexual health and wellness. And I provide them with self care practices, and I recommend all natural products that are tailored to their individual needs. And these products solve serious issues. And I'm talking about from daily care to, actual bathroom routines and everything from the bathroom to the boardroom to the bedroom. So, first of all, I just want to say this is a safe space. I work at creating safe spaces for singles and couples to explore, taboo topics of sex and kind of just explore ways to increase their intimacy, whether it's just, with themselves to get to know themselves a little more or to get more involved or more intimate with their partners. So, and just, shake things up a little bit. So I am the founder and CEO of the Pleasure Plug Intimacy Coaching, thanks to Miss Candy Burris Tucker. So shout out to her for, creating an opportunity where we can work for ourselves and have the choice to smash the clock, the corporate clock, and whatever else, whatever kind of clock that we are actually manually or digitally clocking into for someone else. So shout out to her. But let's get into it. So this is, if you have been following along, this is actually day 4. But no worries. I'm going to get into a little bit of the recap prior to our talking points for today. So day 1 was, of course, just the intro. Hey, this is what sex is. Hey, this is what intimacy is. And then we're about to break it down. That was number 1. Day 2, we kind of got into the importance of communication and how setting boundaries and really knowing how to effectively express your wants and needs, how that affects the relationship and how that affects the sex or lack thereof or intimacy and lack thereof in a relationship. And of course, we went over on day 3, we hit on the emotional connection and how that tied into, sharing our deepest desires and just our innermost thoughts, and how creating that mutual trust and a foundation of emotional security is important to having that safe space to create intimacy with your partner, and not necessarily need it for sex, right? Because you can sort of decompartmentalize and or separate yourself emotionally from that actual physical act. We know that that's biologically possible, okay? But we're not going to get into that. That's not why we're here. Happy Money Making Monday, lovers. It's your girl Tay. Again, we're going to talk about trust and vulnerability today. So we talked a little bit about, what is sex? What is intimacy? Then we said, well, hey, communication step numero uno, and why. And then we talked about, well, you know what? There's got to be some sort of emotional connection too, because I get that I can communicate with you, but will you comprehend it? So we wrapping all that up today with trust and vulnerability. So we explore, first of all, I'm just gonna just kind of, so let me set the expectations. So what we'll do for today's topic is we'll explore how the trust forms a foundation for both the female and the male, or both partners, because I have to speak inclusively. So how that forms a foundation between both partners for both sexual and emotional intimacy. Okay, what does that mean in layman's terms? Basically, if I feel like I can trust you, or if I feel like, um, you know, you got my back, or like at the end of the day, I'm safe. No, a woman, listen, nothing turns a woman on more than knowing she is safe with you. In terms of her feelings, she can tell you anything. She can talk to you without you uh blowing a gasket. I'll put it that way. Or just not even, so this is the thing. Sometimes we don't even want you to solve our problem. I know that that's what y'all want to do because y'all are men. And I'm speaking to the men in heterosexual relationships. Uh, but that's not it. Unfortunately, sometimes, because y'all around a lot in relationships, and we don't get to our girlfriends fast enough. So if it's something on our mind, if we're something on our heart, you gonna be the first to know. We don't expect you to solve the problem. We just want you to hear us out. And I see, I see that might not be a good idea, but I do see that often in a lot of my clients' situations, and I'm like, look, you can't treat your man like your girlfriend, uh, understandably so, right? You have to have a disconnect, or you have to have some sort of difference. So create that. That's all I'm saying. And then we'll get into the importance of being vulnerable and building that trust, because if you aren't open enough to do that, then you're not creating any space for that person to come in and do what they are supposed to do. All right. And then, of course, I'll provide a few tips to help foster that trust and a vulnerability in a relationship. Now, again, disclaimer, because I'm single, okay? Because I don't want nobody coming back and be like, oh, no. Listen, I'm educated, yes. And I work with a lot of people. I have worked with a lot of people. I've been in customer service most of my career. So I am aware. Okay. And I do this. So disclaimer. I don't want nobody being like, well, what's she talking about? Because she ain't in a relationship. I'm not. I'm not. And that's on purpose, sweetness. But we're gonna get back to the education. I just had to put that disclaimer out there because I know how y'all do in these internet streets, and I don't want no smoke, okay? Because I'm a lover, not a fighter. And we're going to jump right back into this subject matter. So, the willingness to be open and honest is what we're talking about, trust and vulnerability. So, that means being open, being honest. We're not talking about spilling all the beans, but we are talking about being willing to open up and share a part of yourself and your life with a person. Now, giving someone the power to hurt you, yes, we know that that is not fun. But I have on good word that it is worth every sacrifice. So, speak to your peers, speak to the people who vet your dates, and, just fill them out when it comes to that. But in terms of your thoughts and feelings and experiences, even when something is uncomfortable, you have to face that with your partner and make sure you guys are always being open and honest and communicating with one another in a way that, if there needs to be an adjustment, then that's met with grace and an open ear. Yeah. I'll say that. Just be gentle. Be gentle. So for instance, asking your partner for a hug or asking your partner to hold you can be something in terms of just intimacy that may or may not be outside of their love language. So that for instance is something that will need adjusting. So because they may give and receive love differently, holding you or being or PDA or being touchy feely might not be a part of how they love on you. Their, physical touch might not be their thing externally. But what if it's yours? Then you just simply say, "Hey, babe, I need this. I know that this isn't your thing, but if you could do this for me, or if you could consider, trying or just kind of giving it a whirl for me every now and again, let's start there. I would greatly appreciate that. Easy peasy. Listen, you have not because you ask not. um, but that's it. And I say that for example, and I will use myself this time. Because I am that girl. I am not a touchy feely person externally, meaning like physical touch isn't my love language for real. But what if it's my partner's? Then I have to consider that, and I have to be aware of that. And you gotta adjust. You have to, I think that's what the whole compromise thing comes in. You gotta compromise on a lot. And it's not just how you love or how you like to be loved. Um, but yeah, so we give and receive love differently, and sometimes that is okay, but sometimes you just have to kind of know both, and it does start with you. I would suggest knowing how you like to receive love, how you like to give love, and just make that known, make that something, make that a conversation, bring it up. Y'all ain't talking about that on date night. Maybe not the first one, I understand. But bring it up and don't be ashamed. Making a request for your undivided attention. Sometimes, look, hey, we putting our phones down, or hey, we are gonna just cut off everything for right now and just kind of be into each other at this moment in these times. Now, be realistic and set the times based off your life and what you have going on for sure. But make it happen. And hold each other accountable for making it happen. Disclosing an insecurity, for example, can be something that is more of an intimate moment. So that's not necessarily something, if you just have like a pure sexual relationship with someone, that's not something you get into. But we're talking more so intimacy in these talking points. But disclosing an insecurity, like in a moment, like, oh no, I felt a way about this, or, whatever. Just being open, I think shows a very vulnerable side, and that builds the trust, that builds the vulnerability because you're open, and it kind of leads the way for the other person to do the same, and opens the door for that. Asking for help with something that is something that us ladies sometimes have a problem with, I included. Cultivating a deeper relationship with your loved ones, engaging wisely with all people. Shedding a layer of that armor is very important. And then, again, just kind of holding each other accountable of these actions and making sure that that is happening constantly, checking in with each other on date nights, having the crucial conversations, and kind of not being afraid to bring those things up because you're supposed to trust and be vulnerable with your partner. So, that's it for day 4 of the Sex versus Intimacy series with Coach Tay. And today we talked about trust and vulnerability. Now, stay tuned for next time. We will be going more into mindfulness and being in the moment as it comes to sex and intimacy. So that'll be fun. But before I sign off, I did want to quickly share something with you in terms of getting more intimate and learning to trust your partner and learning to be vulnerable with them. So I really wanted to get my My eye mask out for y'all. But anyway, so one thing I wanted to show you was our massage oil. So this is a way to kind of be vulnerable in the moment. It's edible. You can warm it up. And we have different flavors. But so that is one of our bedroom candy products that I like to incorporate in my couple sessions, or to any of my clients that actually just need just something to slow down their day. So I would suggest this because it is something you can do in terms of creating that intimate moment and having the trust in your partner for you to just kind of lay there and be vulnerable, letting them make you feel good. So, anyhow, that's it for now. I will see y'all next time on the Sex versus Intimacy series with Coach Tay. Y'all be good now. Peace.